This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Calvin Kerr Jr. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I am excellent. Every day is a blessed day.
I appreciate that. I love that. What part of the world are you in right now?
I'm at Fayetteville, North Carolina. I work out of Fort Bragg right now, but I live in Maryland.
All right. Well, do tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history.
Well, I'm an author. I write short stories. And I also am the sergeant at arms at Fayetteville State Broncos Toastmasters. You know, the Toastmasters International?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've had a ton of individuals from Toastmasters on the podcast. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me about the authoring. What have you written?
I've written really 5 books. However, my first book is the one that I really talk about because it is finished. I'm not going back and touching it anymore. It's called Hardhead City, and it has 8 short stories.
Tell us a bit about it, please.
It's all about true events. So many adventures when I was in the Army, it talks about those and also adventures outside of the Army. One of the stories, Hardhead City, is the feature story, which takes place in Baltimore City. That is when I was the Army instructor at this alternative school, and I became the basketball coach and went undefeated, coaching and teaching these kids. They got kicked out of all the rest of the schools. And that was why I called it Hardhead City. It just happened, the name stuck with me because I thought they were so hard-headed that the school should be called Hardhead City. But the actual name of the school was called Harbor City Learning Center.
Okay. Who did you learn that ability to be? Well, it seems as though you have a high level of determination if you're dealing with hard-head individuals, right? Or what could be hard-head until they begin to decide they want to learn. So who did you learn that determination from, that ability to push through?
Well, I feel that I have a God-given talent. However, my skills have been honed through like education, experience, and my travels. I have done so much in my life. The things that I have went through, just every time that an incident happened, I was able to capture that event either through a song, poem, or lyrics. And it got to the point where I couldn't sleep at night because of all the things I did in the military, that I would wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I said, I have all this material. What am I going to do with it? So I decided to capture all the material in the form of short stories based on true events. And a lot of my songs, poems, and lyrics are in those stories.
Where can we find out more about this book? Where can we find out more information?
Well, I have 2 websites. My primary website would be www.blak-kerrinc.com. Also, you can go to www.calvinkerjr.com for just the first book. All the rest of the books are also included in my first web, tells you about those books. As I stated before, I pushed the first book because it is a finished product. My second book is called Can I Get a Light? However, I'm having it republished now by a publisher to get hard copies, and I've re-edited it. It has 9 short stories.
Can I get a light? What does that? What's the story behind that?
One of the feature stories. I always have a feature story.
Right.
Almost close to the title name. And the feature story is Brother, Can I Get a Light? And it talks about a Black Muslim, all his trials and tribulations. And when you read this story, it is like the old cliche, sometimes fiction or nonfiction is stranger than fiction. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
definitely. It sounds like
that
a
is
cigarette though. Like I'm asking
can I,
for a light for a
well,
cigarette.
it's deeper than the cigarette. Brother, can I get a light? It's deeper than focusing on the cigarette part, but I write metaphorically as well. So a lot of my titles are written more metaphorically.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like you have
Because
fun with that.
I have fun with it because I don't always start at the beginning of the story. Or one story you may not even recognize why the title is like that. It's called, in that book also, Can I Get a Light? There's a story called The Raider Who Loved America. And that is a metaphoric title, but I don't think anybody will ever get it unless they just think closely about what I'm writing about. It's funny.
That's
I
great.
have fun.
How
I
long
have
how long
fun.
were you in the army for?
I spent 22 years in the Army, but see, as I stated before, a lot of my occupations in the Army had me travel, and I did various jobs in the Army. I've been in jungles. I've been on a DMZ. I have been a first sergeant. Some of the other careers, as I stated, was part of being with them was teaching junior ROTC at the high school and working on soldiers in the Army as a registered dental hygienist as well.
You've been doing a ton of work. Wow.
Man, that's putting it lightly. I haven't even tipped the iceberg yet.
I can well imagine. I can well imagine. Well, tell me one other thing then you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
As I stated before, the thing that I have been doing is trying to hone my stories. In all, I have 5 books written, but I have 4 published. And I'm just give list the 5, the names of the 5. I gave you the 2, which is Hardhead City. Can I Get a Light? First Blacks. I wrote a poetic kind of Who Am I book about the first Blacks in history. Is that I mixed it up in this book. And then another one is just a short story called Far from the Sweat and Tears of the Cotton Fields. And that I entered a UK contest with. So I have been pretty much just as my hobby writing and also encouraging other people that want to publish. I have encouraged them to write and go ahead and try to publish their books.
How does it make you feel to see what you've accomplished?
It made me feel real good because most people say you have done the work of more than 10 people with all the writing and raising your children, grandchildren, and other people that call me dad, granddad, or uncle. I mean, it's just amazing that God has given me the talent to write, and God has blessed me to have to help other people. I put it that way.
Why would you suggest other people that are listening do what you've done by making yourself an individual who serves others?
Everyone may not have the mentality that I do. I had to go through a lot and learn a lot about myself, and God has brought me through all the trials and tribulations that I went through. However, I always encourage people to do the best they can at anything that they do, because even if you fail, you've already won. You've already succeeded. Because sometimes when you mess up, you learn from it, and you'll be able to make it better, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
Love it. Amazing audience. Again, you're hearing it live from Calvin Kerr. You can connect with him. Well, I think Calvin Kerr Jr. is the easiest website, yeah? To at least to get to the Hardhead City first, right?
No, I would think www.black. I mean, www.black, BLAK-KERRISC.com.
All right, my friend. Well, let's switch gears for a moment now, Calvin. Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm blue Caribbean water. Calvin, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Well, my earliest childhood memory was, it is not a great memory. It's, the only thing I could think of is when I was being mischievous and tasted a plant, thinking that it would be edible. And it wasn't so edible, but it was one of those childhood memories that you don't forget because it was like something that was kind of painful and went to the hospital for.
Oh my! What did you eat? What type of plant was that?
It was like one of those a leaf from a plant that we thought was edible. Me and my cousin.
Did it cause stomach pains or?
Burnt your tongue. Just burnt your tongue real bad.
Oh my! How old do you think you were in that memory?
I was about 3 years old.
Wow! Why do you think it's so clear? I mean, it sounds like a dumb question.
Why did what?
Why do you think that memory is so clear?
Because it's just one of the things that when you say, what was my earliest child? That was the earliest childhood memory that I could think of because I really didn't have really a great childhood. It's because of split families and things of that nature. So it wasn't, we never got anything for Christmas usually. And that's why I probably spoil my children and do things for them. And everybody around me, I probably spoil more people than anyone.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today? That memory where you tasted that thing and it didn't work out too well.
Well, that memory, it brought back the time when I was in the military, when we was in jungles. And then I also found out in the military that when you taste things that's sweet, it's probably edible. And when things are bitter or sour, it's probably poison. So I learned that as well. For real, that really believed me. I was an infantry scout, like in jungles or something. So that really, that brought back the memory of me tasting that plant as well.
That's amazing. Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind with that memory? Can I, please?
Yes, you can.
I love when you said you usually tell individuals that even if they fail, it's the first step because they've gone through that then. And to see you as a child, right, at 3 years old, growing and learning from what could be termed failure in inverted commas, right?
Yes.
But to see that from there, the impact of it, as you said, you use that exact medicine for yourself going forward. And I'm guessing that helped a ton of other individuals that were under your lead, right, as a scout.
Mm-hmm. Under my purview.
Exactly, under your purview,
yes.
right? And that is fascinating because even with the books, right? Like you've authored your book and now other people are getting to do that. And I'm guessing it's amplified in so many different parts of everything you've done. Your failure, again, in inverted commas, we are calling it failure because that's the name the world calls it, right? But that thing, definitely you take it and you amplify the effects of what it can do to help others. I love how that connects.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well done. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
As I stated, my favorite song was a change is gonna come.
It definitely connects, right? Like I could see you as a 3-year-old, right, with your tongue burning and the words, a change is going to come. Or even as you said, the painful childhood. But a change has come, hasn't it? Now you get to spoil your children. Well, not spoil, but definitely give them the things you couldn't have, right?
That is exactly. It's Change is gonna come by Sam Cooke. I know you probably are familiar with that song.
Love it. All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Calvin, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I have not necessarily chosen anyone to pass my writing skills to. However, if people are interested, I try to outline where to start as far as becoming a published author whether she is a relative or not. I just try to help people. I have helped people in the past to start their book. I give them inspiration and the outline to how to start their book.
All right. Are you married?
Yes, I am married. I'm married, and I have, between me and my wife, we have 6 children and many grandchildren.
Wow. All right. Do you believe in God?
I consider myself a Christian. Therefore, I most certainly believe in God.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours? Oh, my apologies. I left out one question. Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I have associates through the church, work in organizations such as I mentioned before, Toastmasters.
All right, all right. Do you watch? Sorry, you could go ahead. My apologies.
Presently, I am the Sergeant at Arms for Fayetteville State University Broncos Toastmasters, and I participate in the choir at church.
All right, all right. A singer as well. All right. Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Yes, I do, but my focus is more on weather, news, and sports.
What about screen time, the phone and the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Screen time is probably less than 8 hours a day.
Calvin, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Calvin Kerr Jr., what would you say that is?
As the world goes on today, I would say take precaution in perceiving a person to be racist because of the way he or she looks physically, because you never know how one thinks until you have a conversation with them or get to know them.
Love it. The power of a conversation. Calvin Kerr, this was such a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I just want to thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts and also just to outline my accomplishments in life.
My pleasure.
It's just a pleasure to have a conversation. I know I didn't speak as well as I could have. However, I think I answered the questions as honest as I could.
My friend, it's a pleasure I treasure. Calvin Kerr Jr., thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.